Hello and welcome to Kicking Assets, the podcast which one enthralled listener once described as not another f***ing woman talking about football.
Kicking asset. It's simple mathematics. Kicking asset. It's simple mathematics.
Much to his disappointment, we will indeed be here every week helping you fill your footy boots as we tackle the intersection of finance and football. I'm Z, aka the reluctant accountant, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the numbers off the field so you can have a bit more context about what's happening on it. And today, I am joined by my esteemed co-host, Aaron, aka the Crazy Ginger Cabbie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm sweet, I'm good. Thanks for the invite.
No, obviously I'd need to have a male here. You know, obviously we get really good feedback from the men, and I think they just would tip it over the edge if I got another, double X chromosome in there.
But if you had a woman sitting here as well, people would probably log off and no one would be watching it.
And that would be fair, obviously. Yeah. And I just want to also say that I promise not to menstruate, but I will endeavour to keep the men straight if they allow me to do that.
Yeah,
so it's going to be fine. No blood, no foul, as they may say in some sports. So obviously this is a kind of a departure from our regular co-host. You look a little bit like Ricky, so I was kind of hoping not to bring it up, but would you like to tell them why Ricky's not here?
I have it under good authority that he's not here because his bosses have told him that he needs to stay put because someone else within his work is trying to look for him and he's going to be told.
Okay,
where
so
to go.
Do you know who that other, is this like a Born Identity type thing or like?
Sort of, yeah.
Oh, okay, wicked.
Yeah.
So when's that coming out or is it real?
I've got no idea.
We're in Brixton, so we can get strapped really easily.
Yeah, so, again,
are you ready?
I'm out of my comfort zone here.
Yeah, no, I know, but you know what? We were going to kind of use you as the fall guy because...
I can drive.
Yeah, and also you've got that hue that just kind of makes it a little bit more acceptable, so I think we're going to roll with that. Yeah, I think...
Hugh Edwards.
If you like... Well, as Sam Cooke said, a change is going to come, although I bet he didn't think that Bobby Womack was going to show up to his funeral with his wife and then later shack up with his daughter. But we'll move on because we're going to talk about financial fair play. So Ricky and I in previous weeks have kind of spoken a lot about financial fair play. It's come up here and there and we've been like FFP-ing all over the place because we felt cool and it's really cool to say acronyms. But we probably should explain what that is. So, are you familiar with it?
I know what it is.
Well, go ahead. You know what? Because
I'm not to the in-depth that you know it. I know it through being an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
Arsene Wenger used to go on about it all the time.
Okay.
And when we couldn't spend the money that we wanted to spend to keep up with the big boys at the time, with Chelsea and Man United, he was trying to get not people in trouble, but he was trying to point out the fact that these clubs are spending all this money.
Yeah.
They're not bringing it in. So how are they spending the money? So we knew then it was FFP. But then since then, everyone's just sort of like, well, Man City have just spent £2 billion in the last 10 years, and people think, is it a real thing?
Is it FFP or is it?
So they've probably got to change
taking the P.
Yeah,
it could be something like that.
I didn't know we were swearing on this, but yeah, that's fine.
I didn't know that was a swear word.
No,
it's a letter P.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it comes after.
FFP.
Yeah. Anyway, so you're absolutely right. It's basically a measure that's been put in place by UEFA, those non-corrupt body in the football industry, to bring about some sort of financial stability and to kind of help clubs manage their debt, because there tends to be a lot of debt, which we'll get onto in due course. And it was really funny because do you know how they measure like how much you can and can't spend? It's not a trick question, by the way. Also,
no, but I think you need to explain it to the 4 million viewers that
to
you've
the
got.
people then. Yes, yeah. I will do that. So basically the idea is that they want to make sure that there aren't overdue, what we call creditors, like they don't owe a lot of money to like tax organizations or other football clubs by the end of their season. So this came in like 2010, 2011. This is when that first came in. And then what they then had after that was around 2013, they brought in the break-even requirements, which is kind of something that is probably akin to what Wenger used to talk about a lot. Yeah. So the idea is that you can't, your income needs to match what's going out, and it's a way to kind of try and stop all of these big clubs with these oligarchs and whatever, just pumping in money and just buying like a load of, a S load of players or whatever, and just taking their pickings. So one of the things that people I've seen a lot misquoting when I'm looking online is this idea that you can make, I think it was like 105 million of loss over 3 years. And that's because of the way that they review how much loss you've made.
The Arsenal Declan Rice thing, isn't it?
That's not what it is. Okay.
No.
So basically what it is that you have 5 million of overspend that you can do in every year, which over 3 years would obviously be 15 million.
Quick maths.
Yeah, you see that? I'm going to do another one.
Go on then.
You ready?
Bigger numbers.
Boom. 30 million
right.
over 3 years. What's that?
90.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've done the knowledge.
Yes.
Okay. So 90 million, and that's where the other 90 million will come from. So it's normally 90 plus 15 is the 105, but that 30 million.
Right. Yep.
Okay. You know what? Let's reverse.
No, I'm with you. Just
so
takes me
the
time.
30 million has to be contribution from the owner.
Yes.
So in the case of, for example, Manchester United with the Glazers, how much have they contributed over the last 3 years?
Go on.
0.
Oh.
Yeah. So you and I
what are they getting away with?
Have put as much into Manchester United as the Glazers have. And so their losses over the last 3 years can only add up to 15 million. And so that's kind of what it is.
Gotcha.
It's to stop, clubs and whatever getting into racking up these huge debts and basically not being able to satisfy things, and then also spending large amounts on players. So that's essentially what they're doing. I mean, there are other, obviously, nooks and crannies and whatever that you can look through, and I think the document's about 67 pages or something like that.
Do you think, though, when it comes to the nook and crannies a bit, I know what Man City have got like over 100 breaches of this that's ongoing at the minute. Do you actually think that anything's going to be done to the big clubs
to enforce it?
Yeah, to the Man City. So they're going to have fines coming out their rear end. People are saying, they should be docked points or a league title here and there. Do you think that that's genuinely going to happen? It will happen to your Wigans, but will it happen to your Barcas and your Man Cities? And the King of Spain runs Real Madrid and finances them. So it's like...
Do I think they're actually going to enforce it?
Yes.
Is what you're saying. At some point they may. I think it's very sporadic at the moment. I think that's where a lot of the complaints that you were saying, like from Wenger and other teams, will complain that it's not uniform. And I think as of now...
They're going to make an example somewhere, aren't
they? You know what? I think it might take a catastrophe for them to do that. Like, I think it might take a big fallout of something to happen for them to kind of really start enforcing that in any meaningful way. But it's always good for people to talk about. It sounds really smart if you can.
We're talking about it now, aren't we?
Yeah, no, we are, aren't we? Look at us. Yeah. Being smart. Love that for us.
Getting on with each other.
Wow, look at that. Ebony and ivory. So
women in sport.
Yeah, no, I'm going to stay in finance because obviously that dude didn't like it. So I'm just going to be like, I'm looking at through a finance lens at football. Yeah, yes. I don't want to kind of wade directly in there.
Okay.
So what we're going to look at now is, first of all, what I wanted to say to you is a lot of clubs are in debt.
They probably all are.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which clubs do you think are owing the most?
Owing the most?
Yeah, most debt.
I'd like to say Spurs.
Okay, fair enough there.
Just because I'm an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
But owing a lot of debt, I don't know, maybe like the clubs that come up from the Championship into the Prem, like Nottingham Forest last year bought 22, 23 brand new players, like a whole squad. Spent loads of money and they nearly got relegated. Okay. To an extent.
Well, they got their parachute payments as well when they're relegated, so that can kind of...
Yeah, but like, does that not go to like directors and chairmen and like the big wigs, or does it? I don't know. How does it get distributed?
I mean,
I'm very sceptical about clubs.
Whether they actually get the money.
Yeah, and I think like you've got clubs will go and get sponsorship for like a training facility. We'll sponsor your training facility for £40 million. Oh yeah, thanks very much. So, but we haven't got to show that.
Okay, so basically you just think like fraud's happening all over the place and a little bit of money laundering.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. So only 4 million people are watching this.
I mean, there's like 4. It's fine. And like 2 of them are me from like dummy accounts, so it's fine. But what I was going to say is one of the... What club out of Europe would you say has... Well, you know what?
Paris Saint-Germain or maybe Juventus.
Interesting. It's funny that you say Juventus, but no. Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah. Okay.
And you know why that's funny?
Is it funny?
Well, you're not laughing, but you know.
Yeah, because Barcelona, I'm sure they recently, last year, they agreed that they were selling their television rights for upcoming seasons to basically get the money in now to be able to buy players now.
Yes. So the reason that they're doing that, so one of the things with debt is that, again, if you're rich, no one really cares whether you're in debt. It's when you're poor that people care. And the situation with Barcelona, and I'm going to go into Barcelona because, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me tell you why I picked Barcelona.
Go on then.
Okay. So I told Nee a while ago that some of my best relationships are the ones that exist in my head. Okay.
I thought you were going to say with Spanish people.
No. I mean, they could be. I haven't explored those delusional relationships in my head, but it wasn't just a romantic thing. It's like I have friendships as well, and so I have like a weird personal vendetta against Barcelona that they don't know about, and the city, because it's good because in my head, Shakira and I have been friends for like 20 years, right? And
right, PK, yes.
Don't roll your eyes, first of all.
Man, woman, it's like she's nice. She's nice.
I don't care, right? So Shakira, this is the thing with people that only speak English. Of like, you know how like Beyonce is revered in the English-speaking world. Mm-hmm. Shakira is that for the Latin world, like for the Spanish world. Like she's somebody, and like I'm sorry if you've got.
Have you got Latin in you?
Not right now, but like.
Enrique, there was this one time, but yeah, no, I understand.
Who knows where the night will take us, you know? But no,
there is a tapas bar down the road actually.
What time does it close?
11:30 on a Monday.
Yeah, we're all right.
Go on.
So yeah, no, if you're beefing with Shakira, you're beefing with me. And obviously PK came out and he did what he needed to do and whatever. And she came and made her song, and I think it was a beautiful response. It was like her version of Lemonade. But yeah, so I've kind of got a little vendetta against them. However, I also am quite fascinated by their structure because unlike the kind of, you know, the Chelseas and the Man United, their structure is quite different. They're not owned by like oligarchs or anything. They have this, they're a thing called socios, which is like, they're basically owned by members and players and whatever. And so like, sorry, PK has been a member and like an owner since he was born. And that's how you get it. Like you can't just, like you can't go up. I mean, they wouldn't have you anyway, but that you couldn't just go up and go.
It's like the Spanish Freemasons, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. And I don't think like they let you in. Anyway, so yeah, you can be a member, but because of the way that they're structured like that, it's kind of very different from that kind of pumping money in model that they've had. So they're in loads and loads of debt. At 1 point something, I think it's last 1.35 billion of debt, which is one of the highest. Now, if the last report that I read from Deloitte Money League was that there was like, oh, maybe Tottenham is higher or whatever, because I know you mentioned Tottenham. The difference is the structure of the debt. Tottenham's debt was, I think, with their stadium upgrades and stuff like that, so it would be quite low interest, where these guys just were getting loads of money in and they were splashing the cash, weren't they? Yeah. And that's kind of, there were a few main reasons that this happened to Barcelona. Do you know any of those?
No, go on.
Well, great.
Go on.
I'll let you know.
Go on.
Wow, look at that. So first of all, they had a few dodgy transfers. So they got a few people in, they paid loads of money for them, and they sat down and warmed the bench for quite a long time.
Aguero.
Come on, give us the names.
Kun Aguero. Antoine Griezmann.
Okay.
Is he on there? Maybe not.
No, I mean, I'm going to tell you after you finish the test. I'm not going to tell you right way through it.
Well, it's right for you to read it off of a computer.
Yeah, it is.
But like me in my head, like
you're supposed to be the expert. Ricky would have known this.
No, he definitely wouldn't.
He would have.
He definitely wouldn't.
He would have. Okay, so yeah, you've got your Griezmanns, you've got Dembele as well. So yeah, all of these injuries. Obviously, you've paid all this money out for these people, and all these injuries. Yeah, you know, well, they just. Well, if I was on a big contract, I'd have had a few injuries too. You know what? A little bit of a break. Who minds? Lazy. I don't mind.
Lazy.
Yeah,
it's but bad attitude.
But listen, I don't dream of labour, darling. So yes, if I want to be injured and have a day off, I will do so. Okay. Yeah. So so they had their dodgy transfers. Obviously, COVID hit as well, which impacted them hugely. If you've brought in all of these people on huge wages and COVID comes and like licks you down, then that's going to have a big impact on them. And basically the wage structure. And that's why, you know what happened with Messi, he had to go. Mm-hmm. So
and he didn't want to leave because he had that little tearful episode.
Did you like that?
Well, he's been there since he was, what, 10?
Yeah.
So that's all he's ever known. So it's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds, you know, indoctrination. But yeah, sure, I agree. And I think, but the problem is he was on such a huge wage and he was willing to take quite a huge pay cut as well. But they've got it in their structure. You can't take more than 50%. And even with that, it wouldn't have worked
still
out.
on astronomical amounts of money.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it didn't really matter for that other dude because who cares about him? And he quit anyway. So good.
What other dude?
Piqué. So there, yeah.
So that's why you don't like Barcelona. Not because they're swindling money. They're just because of Piqué and Shakira.
Everyone has a line, and mine is Shakira, and that's just what it is, and I won't be challenged on that. So, so this is kind of what's happened with them, and the structure of it means that there's worries about servicing the debt. So the whole thing about debt is like, it's fine as long as you can pay for it. Yeah. And what you've mentioned about like the TV rights and things like that, those are the things that they've kind of tried to secure in order to allay fears that they won't be able to meet the debts as they arise. But the long and short of it is, and this is the model for a lot of them. And I think also this is why a lot of Man United fans are really upset that the Glazers haven't been putting money into it because, you know, like that's what you would expect. You come with your big bucks and you take out a loan against the company and then, okay, we've won stuff, but now we've got all this
What
debt.
are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, what are they doing?
That's what they want it to be sold to the next available owner.
Yeah, so both of whom, just on that though.
Go on.
So you're obviously aware of this like ongoing saga with Man United being taken over rather. They're still on my eBay watch list, but their two front runners apparently are
Sheikh Yassim.
Easy for you to say. And Jim Ratcliffe.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about them?
They're both rich. They don't know who we are, so I don't think we should give them any thought. It's not my football club.
I mean,
so
they know me, but like, yeah,
of course, understandable.
Obviously.
But it's not my football club. Hopefully they don't get bought out and the Glazers just stay in charge of Man United.
Oh, that's what I mean. Okay, that's sweet. Yeah. So.
Kind.
But what do you think about like that kind of structure of just like big
coming in just owning a football club? I don't think we're going to be able to do anything about it. The Premier League is that powerful.
Yeah.
If anything was going to happen and it was going to calm people down with spending, COVID would have seen to that. But it's not. It's ramped it up. And it just goes to show that the Premier League at the minute is untouchable. Okay. I think. So there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. Do I? I don't really care.
Okay.
Don't really care.
Wow. Thank you for bringing a bit of apathy to the podcast. Right. But you know what? This is a neat segue into something I want you to care about because this is your segment now.
Go on then.
So what we do now is normally Ricky.
Kick-ups.
Yeah, actually. That's why we got the balls there, to be honest with you. So if you do...
I've got size 13 feet. I don't know how I'm going to...
Well, I think you should figure out because he always does. So if you pick up like one ball and just do like 3 on each foot because it's the 3rd episode.
Okay.
Yeah?
Behind here.
Wherever you need to.
Okay. No, we'll do it at the end.
Okay, cool.
We'll do it in the edit.
So what he normally does is he goes through a bit of the transfer news, what's happened. I know that you're an avid Arsenal supporter. If you would care to just touch on some other stuff as well, just so that we've got like a little bit of variety. But obviously you can put your focus on Rice Krispie Man because...
Yes, I mean, it's the biggest transfer of the summer. It's been ongoing. We've dragged our heels a little bit. And I think Arsenal and West Ham, the hierarchy have probably tried to play each other against each other. Like, so West Ham want this much money. We don't want to pay it. We ended up paying it anyway. The structure of the payment is over 2 years, 3 financial periods.
Yeah.
Probably West Ham fans probably think that we have had our pants pulled down with regards to the price.
And what do you think?
I think a bit of the money is probably English tax, English football player.
Okay.
But they've done it for years. Sean Wright Phillips, when he first went to Chelsea for Man City, was like 22, 24 million pounds. It was never that expensive.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Frank Lampard at the time, just broke through at West Ham, went to Chelsea for like, I think 11, 12 million pounds. The English tax on players, Harry Maguire, 80 million pounds. And he's just had the armband taken off of him at Man United. Sorry, H, Mr. Meathead.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I think English players, Arsenal, we've been waiting for a long time to spend the big money on the big players and be in that conversation.
But do you think it's been well spent then on Declan Rice?
Yeah, 100%. Because I think he will, in a year's time, he'll be our captain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what else is new in news?
The ongoing thing with Caicedo. Who's this Caicedo from Brighton? No. Another centre midfielder. Arsenal were allegedly touting him January this year, because we thought the Rice deal was going to be sort of cooled a little bit, so we went a little bit cold on Caicedo. So then Chelsea are in for him. Brighton want £100 million for Caicedo because they class it as right. Well, Rice is this much, Caicedo is this much. That's cool. Liverpool are now coming in for him.
Okay, but Liverpool, they cut coupons, so unless they're going to get a discount, they're not going to be able to afford it.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, and talking about Liverpool, Ricky's obviously his love. I don't know why Liverpool, because
he's from South, isn't he?
As well.
Yeah.
It was like seeing John Barnes play for Liverpool.
I feel like he needs to move on. Then.
I think so.
You know what I mean?
Support Crystal Palace. He's from South. It wasn't a black thing. I was just saying, like, it's just.
Are you sure? Well, you brought up John Barnes, so I thought you were making.
Yeah, no, I was. Yeah, but that was a lot of people do say that about Liverpool.
Do they?
Black people that support Liverpool.
Do you know black people?
A few.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So Moses Caicedo is now being touted by Liverpool.
Okay.
Obviously, that's Ricky's team, so he's probably going to be a bit excited about that. But also Jordan Henderson.
Okay.
Did you hear about Jordan Henderson?
I didn't, but I'd like you to tell me.
So he's been touted to go over to the Saudi Arabian Super League.
You know what? I just lied. I have heard about this. I think, but go ahead, tell me. I think Ricky told me this in the foot, but I thought was it Jordan Henderson he was talking about in the first episode?
Was it?
No, it was Neves.
Yeah. Ruben Neves.
Neves. Are they going together?
You was about to say, are they the same person, weren't you?
I don't know what they look like. If that's racist,
Yeah.
Hopefully.
You just thought Saudi Arabia, so.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Possibly, maybe not. Now going to the Saudi League.
Possibly, maybe not. Which one is it?
So, like about a week ago, they were saying he's definitely going.
Okay.
$700,000 a week.
Okay.
Which is a lot of money for Jordan Henderson.
Still a week, isn't it?
Yeah, he's the most successful Liverpool captain of all time, I think, because he won it all.
Yeah.
And he's getting a little bit of crap now, him and Steven Gerrard.
Oh, okay.
Because of the whole LGBT stuff. So they've been big supporters of them in the past. Now, obviously, a big wad of cash has been shown in their face. It's like, right, well, do we forget about that now and go follow the money? So it's a little bit of an awkward one for people.
Is it?
Well, money's money at the end of the day. I think everyone has a price. Obviously, you've got your morals and your principles about things.
I mean...
But people are also saying, I was listening to TalkSport and someone said that maybe Jordan Henderson can go fly the flag. I mean, I'm not talking about the pun there, but I'm...
Okay.
Be like a Trojan horse and sort of like get them understanding a little bit.
As a Trojan horse. So which one's that? Who's going to do that?
Jordan Henderson.
Is he...
Like to sort of go in and be like, right, this is what we need to do. Like this is on TalkSport, by the way.
Okay, so
this ain't me making shit up.
Is he gay then?
No, he's not.
Okay, well, what would the Trojan horse be? Because surely the Trojan horse is you go in as one thing and underneath.
So he's going to go in. So he's going to be the Trojan horse, but on the inside he's going to be like.
Yeah, but who's going to see it if you don't get out of the horse?
I bet you will. The Trojan horse, because he gets ripped open at the end of it.
Oh, okay. Or he may.
Have you seen Troy?
That.
Seen the film Troy?
No.
You should do.
Okay.
Brilliant film.
Are you in it?
No, I should be.
Okay.
I think so.
Which scene?
That main one with the Trojan horse.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Not sure that's how it worked.
Nah, it did.
Because they all have to come out of the horse.
That's what I mean. They all got to come out.
Of the closet or the horse. So he's not gay?
No, he's not. But he can go in there and fly the flag for people.
But is it
for the
legal
LGBT
to fly the flag in those countries?
That's what I'm saying. But this is where people are not getting it.
Okay, cool. So basically he's gone from ally to that kind of thing. That's what we're doing.
Exactly that.
And he's just going to like whisper it as people pass, like that kind of thing. Okay, cool. I mean, I don't see that working, but shouts to him though. 700k. Just do a week and you're good. Or 2 weeks. 700k.
What would you do for $700,000 a week?
What
wouldn't you do?
It's a good question.
6.5 hours later.
Stumped you there, haven't I?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I didn't have morals in the first place, so I don't think it really counts for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Morals are for chumps. So that's how no one can nail you to the wall on anything. Just don't stand for anything. You think about it.
Yeah, I don't know why you pointed. Why did you point to the
I was pointing to you about the whole lack of moral thing. Anyway, we don't need morals because we've got podcasts. So with that being said, next week we will be back and I will be talking about image rights and who owns them and who gets paid. And what do you think is coming up in the transfer window for the next week?
For the next week?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really care because Arsenal have done their business.
Okay. So
but
no one cares?
No. Harry Kane.
Okay. What's he going to be doing?
Possibly on his way to Germany. Bayern Munich.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but...
Big money?
80, 90 million.
Yeah.
Daniel Levy's probably thinking hundreds, but I doubt it. 1 year left on his contract. I don't think he's going to get that.
I'd get it, but, it's not about me. Not right now. But you know what, Aaron? It's been a pleasure and a privilege to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully they'll edit all that stuff out. But otherwise, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kick in the asset.
This episode was produced by me, Odartei Evans, Justin Chinyere, and was filmed in Renaissance Studios in Brixton.
Kick in the asset. Kick in the asset. It's simple mathematics.
So that's how no one can nail you to the wall on anything. Just don't stand for anything. You think about it.
Yeah, I don't know why you pointed. Why did you point to the
I was pointing to you about the whole lack of moral thing. Anyway.